In the shadows of deception, where sacred robes hide sinful hearts, lived a man whose very existence was built upon lies. Marcus claimed to be touched by the divine, a holy vessel walking among mortals. Every dawn found him at the ancient well, drawing water for the villagers while proclaiming his righteousness. "I am blessed by God himself," he would declare with theatrical fervor. "I study the sacred texts. I commune with the heavens. I am your spiritual guide." The people believed every word that dripped like honey from his deceitful tongue. "Yes, Marcus is truly holy," they whispered in reverence. "He is our spiritual shepherd." But beneath that facade of piety beat the heart of a master deceiver. Each day, like clockwork, a woman of breathtaking beauty would glide to the well, her water vessel balanced gracefully in her hands. Marcus watched her with hungry eyes, his soul consumed by forbidden desire. But fate had already claimed her heart. She belonged to another, a devoted wife and loving mother. One scorching afternoon, her young son approached the well, his small hands struggling with the heavy container. Marcus saw his opportunity and seized it with cold calculation. "You're far too small, child," he said with false concern. "This vessel is too heavy for your delicate frame. Your mother must come herself." The trap was set. The next day, she appeared as he knew she would. Marcus moved closer, his voice dropping to a seductive whisper. "You possess a beauty that haunts my dreams," he breathed. "Meet me here when darkness falls, when the world sleeps and we can be alone." The woman's blood ran cold. She recognized the dangerous fire in his eyes, the predatory hunger masked by holy pretense. "This man burns with forbidden desire," she thought, her heart racing with fear. "But I love my husband with every fiber of my being. I must tread carefully." Marcus wields power and wealth like weapons. I cannot make him our enemy. That evening, terror gripped her as she confessed everything to her beloved husband. "What path should I take?" she pleaded, tears streaming down her face. "I cannot betray our sacred bond by meeting him in secret. Yet if I refuse him outright, his rage might destroy us. People will learn of his advances, and scandal will consume our family like wildfire." They spoke deep into the night, their minds working as one, until finally a brilliant plan emerged from their desperation. Dawn brought the woman back to the well, where Marcus waited like a spider in his web. "My darling, you've returned to me at last," he whispered with intoxicating intensity. "Did thoughts of me keep you awake? Will you surrender to destiny tonight?" The woman smiled, but her eyes held secrets. "Meeting here would be madness," she replied softly. "Too many eyes watch this place. Too many tongues wag with gossip. They would run to my husband, and his fury would know no bounds. But fortune smiles upon us today. My husband travels to distant lands on business. He will not return until tomorrow. Come to my home after your evening prayers. When the moon rises and shadows provide our sanctuary." Marcus felt his heart explode with triumph. "She desires me as I desire her," he told himself, drunk on imagined victory. But doubt crept in like poison. "I must be cunning," he realized with growing anxiety. "Every evening I remain at home, faithful and predictable. My wife will question this sudden change. What lies can I weave to satisfy her curiosity?" Then inspiration struck like lightning. He smiled with diabolic satisfaction and hurried home. After devouring his supper and performing his evening rituals, Marcus turned to his unsuspecting wife with practiced sincerity. "I must venture out tonight on urgent spiritual business," he announced solemnly. His wife's eyes widened with surprise. "Why, my devoted husband?" she asked. "I encountered fellow seekers of truth today," he replied with Oscar-worthy performance. "We discussed the most challenging passages in our holy book, verses that confound even the wisest scholars. They believe I possess divine insight, that I can illuminate the darkness of their confusion. They beg for my guidance tonight." His wife's face glowed with pride. "Of course you must go," she said with admiration. "If sacred study calls, you must answer. Your wisdom is a gift to be shared." Marcus practically floated to the woman's house, his mind intoxicated with anticipation. "She has chosen me over her husband," he whispered to the night air. The door opened to reveal her stunning figure draped in silk that caught the moonlight like liquid starlight. "Welcome," she breathed, stepping aside to let him enter. Marcus settled onto the woven mat, accepting the tea she offered with trembling hands. "Wait just a moment," she said with mysterious sweetness. "Let me secure our privacy." She glided to the door and turned the heavy lock with deliberate ceremony. Hidden in the darkness behind the house, her husband heard the metallic click and smiled with grim satisfaction. The signal, he thought. Now the performance begins. He burst from his hiding place and began hammering on the door with thunderous urgency. "Wife! Beloved wife!" he roared with theatrical panic. "Open this door immediately. Why have you barred me from my own home? I have returned early from my journey." Marcus leaped to his feet as if struck by lightning, his face drained of all color. "Your husband," he gasped, his voice cracking with terror. "This is catastrophic. If he discovers me here, he will paint these walls with my blood. What salvation can you offer?" The woman rushed to her wooden chest with fluid grace, retrieving a flowing dress of deep blue silk. "Quickly," she commanded with urgent whispers, "transform yourself. When he sees you, he will believe you are merely a woman come to help me with household duties." With fingers made clumsy by fear, Marcus struggled into the feminine garments while the woman opened the door with perfect composure. Marcus pulled the silk scarf tight around his face, praying to whatever gods might still listen to hypocrites. The husband entered carrying a massive sack of grain, his performance flawless in its casual normalcy. "My treasure," he said to his wife, "why do you ask about my early return? I planned to travel with companions, but they delayed their departure until tomorrow. However, I brought you this gift, enough flour to last many weeks." His eyes fell upon the disguised Marcus with apparent delight. "What excellent timing," he exclaimed with enthusiasm. "This helpful woman has come to assist you. She can grind all this grain into flour. There is far too much for your delicate hands alone. Bring your mortar and pestle. She can begin immediately." The woman retrieved the grinding tools while Marcus stared at the mountainous sack in growing horror. Soon he found himself pounding grain with rhythmic desperation, each strike echoing his internal screams. Hours crawled by like centuries as Marcus ground grain until his arms screamed in agony. "Why won't this fool of a husband retire to bed?" he thought in desperation. "Why has he brought enough grain to feed an army?" His back ached, his hands blistered, but still the grain mountain seemed endless. Finally, after what felt like an eternity of torment, the last grain surrendered to his pestle. The husband pressed coins into Marcus's palm with genuine appreciation. "Your service has been invaluable," he said warmly. "You may go now with our deepest gratitude." Marcus fled through the night like a man pursued by demons, arriving home in a state of complete dishevelment. His wife took one look at his feminine attire and cried out in shock, "Husband, what terrible fate has befallen you? Why do you wear a woman's dress?" Marcus's mind raced desperately for explanation. "Ah, my beloved wife," he began with dramatic flair. "The evening of sacred study took an unexpected turn. You studied scripture dressed as a woman?" she asked, her voice heavy with bewilderment. "Indeed," Marcus replied with the confidence of a seasoned liar. "We were exploring the most challenging verses about evil itself, about the great deceiver who tempts the righteous." "What verses?" his wife pressed, her concern growing. "We spoke of Satan, the master of darkness," Marcus continued, building his fictional masterpiece. "Oh, my precious wife, it was terrifying beyond description." We sat in peaceful contemplation when suddenly he appeared before us in all his horrible glory. Yes, Satan himself materialized in our circle. He began striking us with a staff of pure malice, beating my fellow scholars without mercy. But divine providence saved me. I spotted this dress upon a nearby mat and quickly disguised myself. Even the Prince of Darkness, in all his evil, felt too much shame to strike a woman. So while my companions suffered his wrath, I escaped and ran home to your loving arms." His wife gazed at him with awe and admiration. "What incredible wisdom and quick thinking," she breathed. "You are truly remarkable, husband. You know every sacred verse and can even outwit the devil himself." The next morning brought Marcus back to the well, where he resumed his charade of holy water drawing. Soon the woman appeared, her smile radiating mysterious satisfaction. "Listen carefully," she said with playful conspiracy. "Though last night brought unexpected complications, fate offers us another chance. My husband departs again this evening. His friends came at dawn to collect him for their journey. Come to my house when darkness falls." But Marcus shook his head with violent determination. "Never again," he declared emphatically. "I refuse to return to your house of torment. I have no desire to spend another night grinding grain until my bones turn to dust. If I wish to pound flour, I have mortar and pestle in my own home." The woman returned to her husband and recounted Marcus's response. They collapsed with laughter, their sides aching from the joy of their perfect victory. "Our plans succeeded beyond our wildest hopes," they gasped between waves of mirth. "Marcus will never trouble us again. Yet we have not made him our enemy. He believes he escaped disaster through his own cleverness." And so the false holy man learned that true wisdom sometimes wears the disguise of simple honesty, while deception leads only to grinding, endless labor in the darkness of our own making. If this tale of cunning and consequence has captured your imagination, don't let the story end here. Subscribe to our channel for more incredible stories of human nature. where wisdom and folly dance their eternal dance. Hit that subscribe button and the notification bell, because every great story deserves an audience, and your support helps us bring these timeless tales to life. Share this story with someone who appreciates the art of storytelling, and let us know in the comments what lesson you took from Marcus's misadventure. Until our next tale unfolds, remember, truth has a way of revealing itself, no matter how thick the disguise.